Now on to search engine operators and search engine OSINT. So, what we're going to be looking at is pretty much the first step that I would take when I'm looking up somebody or something or a business or whatever it is that I'm investigating or researching. I typically go out to a search engine. Usually, my preference is Google. Here in a second, I'm going to show you a bunch of different search engines. We'll kind of talk through them and we'll talk through the different operators. And of course, I will provide references and I'll provide even some cheat sheets for you to look through these different operators and search engines, and you can apply those how you see fit. So let's go ahead and switch over. For this part of the course, I'm going to start using my Linux machine. There's no expectation for you to use that. I'm just using that because I have my Firefox, and we're going to eventually transition into Linux a little bit later. But for right now, I'm just using the browser. You can use it pretty much wherever you want. So what I've gone ahead and done right now is I've searched my name. I've searched my name here in Google. I've searched it in DuckDuckGo, in Bing, Yandex, and then a couple more search engines down here. Okay. So I've got Baidu. Actually, this is just Yandex operator. So I want to show you the results and kind of why maybe I have some preference towards Google, but I'm searching myself. So I'm just searching my name here in Google. You can search me if you want. You can search yourself, however you want to do this. And what comes up is Twitter, LinkedIn, Udemy. These are all me. Innocent Lies Foundation, that's me. All of these are me. The Cyber Mentor, Veteran Sec, Wild West Hacking Fest, Reddit. Yep, this is all about me. The only thing that's not me is this here. Searches related to me, my net worth, Udemy, age, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, OSCP. So, yeah, these are pretty much all about me. If you come over to DuckDuckGo, which is more of a privacy based search engine, it kind of gets a little bit different here. You could see that it comes back with me pretty much right away. And then you see Twitter, LinkedIn, Innocent Lives Foundation again. Then we get Herbalife, somebody in South Carolina, a Dr. Heath Adams from Tasmania, and then a bunch of different pictures, most of which are not me. So it gets interesting. It's not really picking me up as much as it was. Now I'm down here again. Some of the other ones down here, TCM Security, Udemy, those would be me. Any of these are not related to me whatsoever. So I do think that Google does a better job, and you'll see again here. I'll kind of breeze through this. The first few are me. This presentation is actually me. These are not. And then again, looks like it goes to South Carolina and just different kind of more people search, people OSINT record type deal, which we'll get into a bunch of these later. But it's picking up other people, it looks like. Yandex is a Russian based search engine. It actually does a pretty good job of picking me up. In the next section, we'll kind of talk about Yandex and where I find it more important or where I find it more useful in terms of being a search engine. But for now, I don't really use Yandex for operator searching. I use it more for image searching, which is the next section. And then here you'll see Baidu. I don't really show up. This is more of Asian based, and it doesn't do a very good job, in my opinion, for if you're searching anything US based or even European based. I don't find this to be very great, but I wanted to point it out because obviously we will have Asian students if you use Baidu. Great. A lot of the operators I'm going to show you pretty much flow through to all of these. Okay, so I'm going to search on Google, but most of these flow through across the board. Again, I'll provide references and resources so that you can go ahead and check these search engines out. Try it on your favorite search engine. Give it a go. For the most part, everything's the same. There are some slight tweaks in operators, but for most of what I'm going to show you holds true. Okay, so let's go back to Google. Now, we can take a look at some things. I want to search, and we'll just go through my life recently. So in my life recently, I am going to go back to undergrad. I'm working on getting some classes for my PhD, and I am planning on attending WGU. So WGU is the university. Now with WGU, there's a bunch of courses that are in this curriculum, and I kind of want to know more about those courses. I kind of want to research those courses and find out information. And what I might do is I might say something like WGU Calc 1. Like I have to take Calculus 1, right? So Calculus 1 and search that. Now, what should come back is a WGU page. You can see that. There's Reddit, there's videos on YouTube, there's a course hero. So it's kind of just all over the place. There's some flashcards. And what I kind of want to find out is, well, what is WGU's course called? Well, it looks like if you ask me, well, we see C282 and then we see a C958. So I'm thinking within the last year or two here, it says 958. So maybe here I want to say something like WGU C958 because we might get some different returns on those results. And now you're seeing, okay, so we're getting calculus, calculus, calculus. And maybe because we searched Calc 1, we didn't get all of these. So we're getting different types of pages here just by changing our search results just a little bit. Another thing that we can do is say, like, I really don't care about seeing WGU's website unless I want to see the course study. Like, maybe I am after WGU, maybe I am after some other things. But here, I'm actually interested in Reddit. So I might type in Reddit, which will help a little bit. Like, it'll bring up Reddit posts, but it might start bringing up other posts that aren't via Reddit. So what I like to do here, if I'm searching something, I might just say cite Reddit. Okay, so you type in cite Reddit, and I messed that up. Reddit.com would be the correct one, cite reddit.com. And then you come in here and you see, okay, now all we're going to get are Reddit websites, okay? Reddit websites only. So anything that's a reddit.com, we're going to come here and we're going to see. So now I can say, okay, WGU C958 cite reddit.com. Maybe I want it to include, maybe I want to say, I want everything included to say WGU and C958. Maybe I want it to be like that. Okay, so now it might change things out. What we're looking for is the term WGU, which is showing here in the address bar, and then it's also going to control with C958, which is going to show somewhere in here. So somewhere in here is C958 and WGU. Now, maybe instead of saying and with the operators, I want to just have these combined. I want this search term to be like this. So it has to be in this order. This is specific. We're putting quotes around it. So we say WGU C958, and we don't find anything. All right, so, but here's an example. You see the C958 calculus. So if we typed in C958 calculus, just like this on Reddit, now we're going to find some stuff where it shows C958 calculus in this order. Okay, so we can narrow down searches like this, and it's really nice. So we might come in here, and now I can go to specifically what I want to see on this Reddit page. And there could be something like, I know for a fact, let's take away this, but I know for a fact that there is a professor that is on YouTube called Professor Leonard for this, okay? And Professor Leonard teaches calculus. He's known as a good resource for teaching calculus, and a lot of people use him at WGU. Maybe I want to find every post on Reddit that references calculus and Professor Leonard, or maybe just C958, because just like that. And let's see what we get. We get 139 results. Okay, but now we see, okay, Professor Leonard, it's in here. C958's in here. If we wanted WGU to be in there as well, we could say and WGU and just like this. Now we have conditional operators. We could say C958 or Professor Leonard on Reddit. So maybe we bring up different pages. So look, this one now has changed. This has nothing to do with WGU. Somebody's just saying Professor Leonard is better than Khan Academy when it comes to calculus. Okay, and then somebody's talking about they like somebody else better than Professor Leonard. Nothing related to WGU here because we changed that or operator, right? So these things matter. These things change. There's a lot of different things that we can do with these operators. Now, this is a WGU example, but maybe we want to look at something different. Maybe we want to put a wildcard in. Maybe you want to look for me. I'm Heath Adams. You're going to put me in a quote. And you see people call me the cyber mentor, but maybe you're like, I don't remember what they call him. Maybe, he's the something mentor. You could say something like the wildcard mentor. And that will start bringing up anything with that wildcard there. So you can wildcard here and look for the and mentor, and you'll see cyber comes up. Okay, this is another way to look for different things. Now, we can start getting investigative. Say I'm looking for an organization. I'm going to pick on Tesla. I like picking on Tesla because I love Tesla. Say I'm looking for Tesla, and this is actually something that happened. I was reading in a bug bounty not that long ago. There was a bug that happened where somebody was searching for passwords on Google for Tesla. They happened to find one that hit the search engine. It literally hit within like a day or two of them finding it, and it was only there for a day or two. They found it. It was credentials that allowed them to log into, I believe, a help desk type deal, like a ServiceNow, and they got into their ticketing system and they gained access to sensitive information at Tesla. And you can absolutely do this with the search engine. So I kind of want to show you now how we could take a search engine and start maybe hunting a password or hunting something along those lines. So what we might do here is say we're looking at Tesla. So we know we want to look at site Tesla. All right, so sitetesla.com. And maybe we'll want to look for the word password. And that's gonna bring up some. It's okay. We get the reset your password. This is going to be perhaps not really great for us. We could probably improve this, right? Maybe we're not going to look for the word password in a regular website. Like we're not going to look for it here. Maybe instead we want to look for it on like, I don't know, a PDF or maybe like a docx or maybe an Excel or CSV. So we can come in here and say like file type. Okay. And now we could say file type PDF. So what we're searching is we're saying, hey, I want to look for the word password in the site Tesla with the file type of PDF. Hit enter. You get 83 results. Now all we're seeing are PDFs with the word password. Now PDF might not be the best one. Maybe, they stored it in an Excel document. So XLSX like this, hit enter, and let's see. We got nothing back. All right, so that didn't work. Maybe we can try something else. What if we just deleted the term password? Just as an example. Okay, and what's coming back is that there's absolutely no Excel type files here on Tesla. So that's interesting. But if we were to search this, maybe we'll search like docx instead. Okay, there's two files here. There's an investor relations file in residential electric vehicle. Okay, so nothing great here. But some ideas that we might do is we might say something like XLSX. We might say password. And maybe password's not it. Maybe it's pass like this. Or maybe we're looking for PWD or something along those lines. You have to think not just the word password, but other alternatives of it. Okay, so you can start really narrowing down. But you don't have to be looking for just a password in an Excel document. You could perhaps just find a sensitive document here. I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff pop up when I'm looking. And you don't have to limit it to the website. You could say, hey, I want to look at PWD XLSX for anything that just says Tesla.com in it. Okay. And see what happens there. We get one result. So here's an Excel file from the EPA.gov. There's PWD ID, and we have no idea what this is. So we might want to dig into that. We might want to say something like pass in here. And this is how I would research this. This is literally how I would go. If I had a client, I would look through for this client. I would say, can I find a password related to anything that they have, anything sensitive that they're leaking? Are there any documents out there that might be of interest to us? And go through all of these types of deals. Now, like I said, there was a bug bounty that was found not that long ago just by doing this same methodology. Now, there's more things that we can do. Say that we're looking for subdomains of a website. Now, if you're not familiar with subdomains, you have like a www.tesla.com, but I also saw something come up like ir.tesla.com or forms.tesla.com. These are all subdomains of the tesla.com website. So what you can do is you could say, hey, I want to look at sitetesla.com, but I really don't care for the www. Please don't show me anything with www in it. And now you can see that takes out anything that had www in the front. So we have shop, we have forms, Appalizer or app player, more shop, more forms. Maybe, I know about the forms. I don't care about the forms. They're wasting space in my search results. Let's take those out. And look, 61,000 just went down to 7980. So now we get shop, and you could keep going through here. Now, like we found a live stream API. So this is a good way to come through using Google and just finding potential subdomains here that we didn't know about. If we're investigating a website and we're doing some sort of investigation there, which we'll cover website OSINT later on in the course, but these are just kind of overviews of how you can take these and just kind of manipulate that. But it's the same thing. Like if you wanted to search for me again, say search for Heath Adams, but you don't want anything related to the Cyber Mentor, maybe you can get rid of that. Maybe you can get rid of also the word mentor and just kind of eliminate a lot of these things. So where have I been potentially? Or maybe you don't even want me. You don't want anything to deal with me. You want somebody else. Okay, now you're pulling up Heath Adams Partners and Lawyers. Remember, we were seeing that on other pages. Dr. Heath Adams on Facebook, scholar, cardiologist. So now you're starting to see different people, different results. I'm not here anymore because you took me out of the equation. So these are just, again, different operators that you can use and throw into the mix that would be incredibly useful. You just have to think about the logic behind how you're going to do things. Now, there's a couple more that I want to show you before we wrap it up here. So we can do something called in title, in URL, in text. I like saying things like this. Like, look, we could look for in text. So we're say in text password. I want to see if there's anything related to me with password in the text. So you're going to come through here and see what do I have related to password. So I've got some things here with breach parse, which is a tool I wrote, some things that we were talking on Twitter. I was saying something about password on Twitter. Now, this could be a way to search through my Twitter if you wanted to. You could say, I want to see if Heath has ever said, if it ever said the word password on Twitter. So cite twitter.com. Or we could say the Cyber Mentor site, twitter.com, and start looking here. So like here I was talking about, I love political season password spraying. Like there's different things here that I talk about, and you could find that for me. So that's in text. Now we could say something more like in URL. Now in URL is going to be looking at the URL and seeing if the word password exists there. Now it's not going to for something like Twitter. Let's see if we can find URL and a password. There's not many great resources here. So it really just depends. Like these are just weird websites that are showing up. But if there's a hunch that you have something is in the URL, it's always good to know, the in URL exists. In text is probably my most commonly used one because I could just search for a term that I want to show up on that web page, and I know that I need it to be there. So in text is great. But if you have the same situation with in URL, that's great. Another thing is in title. So you could say in title password. So we should pull up some results here. 439. So here in the title, you can see that password shows up. So anywhere where password shows up in title, you're good. So there's a bunch of different options that you can do here. Okay. And I think that these are great. I actually don't even know what this site is. So somebody wrote a blog on a hacking tutorial, and it looks like they've got, different types of hacking here that somehow tied into me. So it's very interesting to see some of these things when you're searching yourself and searching for other results. All right, one more thing. Last thing I want to show you. Mostly everything that I've shown you at this point is something that you can utilize on all the other search engines. So if you find difficulty or something not particularly working very well, definitely check the cheat sheets. But for the most part, everything's just about the same. Now, if you don't want to go through and deal with all the operators and remember them, which I think you should, I think it's great practice. It really helps. Those who can Google, those who can search very well will do great things. Google has paid for my education. Google has paid for my job. Google has made me who I am today. I'm not even kidding. One of the first interviews, I'm sidetracked a little bit, but one of the first interviews I ever had, I had a job interview for a help desk position, and he said, what would you do if you didn't know the answer? I'd say, well, I'd ask somebody or I'd Google it. And his response to me was, that's perfect. I say that I feed my family on Google. And that has stuck with me because it's really true. The better that you can do research and really hunt things down, it becomes so useful. Just beyond OSINT, beyond this here, it becomes incredibly useful. But, okay, look, all the things that we've been talking about here. We have this google.com/advanced_search. all you have to do is come in here and type the words that you want. So say we want Heath Adams. All right. So you would say this exact search, you'd put it in quotes, Heath Adams. It's telling you how to do it. Any of these words, none of these words. So maybe you don't want www like we talked about. You can come in here and say site or domain, and you say, we'll look at twitter.com, and we'll just see. Actually, we don't want to eliminate www because that might not show up anything. Then you type in an advanced search. And what's it do for you? It does it for you. It's amazing. Everything is here for you. You don't have to put in the quotes. You don't have to put in the site. And if there's things that you're trying to think about that maybe you're like, I really want to narrow this down to a language. I want to narrow this down to a region, a certain time frame, etc. And that's one other thing that I could show you too, is if you come into the tools, you can look at any time, past hour, past 24 hours. I think this is fantastic. So what have I posted in the past week on Twitter? You can see 4 days ago, 7 days ago, etc. I'm pretty active on Twitter. You can see what pictures are there. Like this is something I posted not that long ago. I retweeted this picture. There's all different kinds of stuff. Hey, look, the OSINT course. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, right? And even within the past week, even probably within the past 24 hours. So you can find different stuff about me, that's pretty interesting in yourselves or whoever you're researching. And then you have you can say all results verbatim. You can clear this out. I think it's very nice. We haven't even gotten into news or images or any of this stuff, but you can go into images and see what you can find. Can you find me? That's a little provocative, but you can find funny pictures of me that are showing up on search engines, all different kinds of stuff, right? So, I mean, it's interesting. Like, that's me. That's my wife. Like, there's Udemy. There's all different kinds of stuff in here. Those are my cats. And this is just from Twitter. This is just from what I posted on Twitter. Look, there's my dog. So you can find a lot of stuff about somebody in a very short period of time with just doing some basic searches. You want to find videos about me, you can come in here, look at different videos from Twitter that I may have posted. And it's very interesting in how this all narrows down. So what I want to say and take you, I'm going to go back to the advanced search. You can do this here and really think about it. If there's a specific region or a specific time frame or a specific anything, here's the file formats that you can search for. It's all possible here. So think about how you want to search things, practice with this, play with this, improve with this. And the best person to search, I think, is yourself. If there's some stuff that you think might be out there about you and you kind of want to figure it out, put your name in Google, start searching it. Search in text with the first 4 or 5 digits of your address, for example, and see if you pop up, or your city or something like that. See different things that might show up and see how you search yourself. So that's really it for this video, and that's really it for this section. From here, we're going to move on to image OSINT and talk about how we can identify stuff just from a picture. So I will see you over in the next section.